Good day, global crypto enthusiasts. This is 88 Fantastic coming to you Saturday, August 17th, 2019, with day two of our cryptocurrency trilogy weekend of reviews. Today being day two, and we are going to do the Quant Network QNT. But before that, we got to go through our usual disclaimers and all that kind of jazz. So while we do that, we always keep our live price of Bitcoin up in the corner here. And as we can see, Bitcoin taking an absolutely a beating from today. Day low of 98.20, day high of 10,005, and currently sitting at 10,140. Actually, when I hit record, it actually dropped $40. It was at 10,170. Okay, so for the viewer, again, my disclaimer is this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own due diligence and your homework before you ever enter this market. And again, I'm going to add on to my second cardinal rule. My first one is always double check that address bar before you ever hit enter. When it's gone in cyberspace, it's gone, right? And my new rule, and we've been talking about this lately on the channel, is being comfortable with the decisions that you make. And again, my reviews, my channel, I'm not here to tell you all the technical aspects of everything. I am not an expert in that field whatsoever. I'm not a computer scientist. I'm not a programmer, all of that jazz. So when we go through a lot of these things, and I know you guys have asked me to look into certain things, I just don't feel comfortable talking on the technical insides of the projects themselves like that. That's where you, the viewer, probably going to be a little bit smarter than me, and I'll post everything up for you guys to come out and check out as well. And as always, with our reviews, the original Bitcoin is completely excluded from the multiple security checks that I put any investment through whatsoever as well. So let's get started with QNT Quant, and we're going to get started over on their webpage itself. Very professional, very good looking. And again, so the number one thing in my security checks is where's the faces. So in order to do that, you're going to have to come over here to blog. And we'll do this a little bit slow today because I went through this and I've watched about 8 other YouTubers do their reviews on these from, say, up to about 3 weeks ago, I think was the latest one, all the way back to early 2018. And I spent a few hours. And before we go through it all, I mean, I'm really, really impressed, like seriously impressed, but I do have one serious red flag that we're going to share at the end of the video for you guys, and I'll explain it at the very end of the video, because out of all of the YouTubers and the social media that I could find, I didn't hear anybody raise this one particular question, and it's not about the competition. So anyways, when you want to come through here, you're going to have to actually click on team itself. Come on, computer. And I just wanted to do the first guy right off the bat, Malk Aldersey, and we can go right onto his LinkedIn page right over here. And it just and again, for me, this is the most important thing about cryptocurrency in this market, because we see so many things decentralized, so many DEXs. You don't know who owns what unless you can actually trace somebody. So for me personally, I do not put $1 into anything unless I can track the human being down, or at least the business itself in some way or shape, right? So this guy is the managing of the consulting. Normally you would go to the CEO, and I mean there's so much on the company presidents and the CEOs. I just grabbed one random guy who happened to be in there, and this is the guy right here. So it's got his business. Everything is experience, interim chief architect with the Scottish government, interim head of product over at Quant, head of information security architecture and consulting interim with a MasterCard company as well. So that is impressive in itself. So now we'll go over to Quant again. We'll get back over here. And what I wanted to look at next was its business partnerships. So we had to scroll all the way down here. Again, so with the Overledger and the Go Verify stuff, I mean, there is so much available information for this. For me to sit here and trying to talk to you guys about Overledger, that's above my head. It's basically trying to connect everything to make everything a lot easier for everybody, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in. And again, Go Verify is very self-explanatory itself. Now, when you look at its partners, I mean, this is simply amazing. Oracle, Hamburg, AWS, absolutely awesome. So we grabbed 2 out of the blue here. So we grabbed the NVIDIA Inception Program, which is over here. And what is the NVIDIA Inception Program? It nurtures cutting-edge AI startups who are revolutionizing industries. This virtual accelerator offers go-to-market support, expertise, and technology for program members through deep learning training, exclusive inception events, GPU discounts, and more. Accelerated today. So again, for somebody to come out and get started and jump onto this is absolutely fantastic. Another one of their business partners was Atlantic CX, peer-to-peer energy trading, which is amazing. Again, we'll talk about this in a little while here with their competition and stuff as that. But again, you come all the way down to the partner and it shows us partners with overledge there. So that verifies there. So now we've got 3 verifications and personal verification. We've got business authentication, and we've got the NVIDIA authentication as well. So they pass all 3 of those. So we'll get onto that real quick here. And then we'll go into their roadmap right from the very, very beginning of the inception from 2015. And they've continued to pound it out all the way since then. Very, very impressive. And again, the most impressive thing to me, as we have talked about so many times on my channel, is that basically we've been in an 18-month bear market, and a company like Quant has actually succeeded. So what we'll do here is we'll show you one of their the price performance stats. So Quant has been trading for just over a year right now. At its day trading, its opening day trading price is at 28 cents. If I remember correctly seeing, I do believe the ICO price was somewhere around $1.60. So if you were that guy that bought in at $1.60, let's have a look here at its charts. And we're going to check its all-time chart. And it didn't even, see, the one thing is when an ICO generally comes out, you will see that massive one-day drop right to the bottom of the price, and then within a day or two you'll see that complete ramp up again. Let's see if we can see it over at coin market cap on its all, and even here in the beginning. So we didn't see that. So the angel, and so what I'm saying is when the ICO came out, the angel investors didn't dump their product onto the market in order to rebuy back at a cheaper price like we see in 99% of ICOs in today's markets. In today's ICO market, you will see this. You will see a straight up spike for a couple of hours, and then the complete reversal and a complete dump for a couple of more hours, and then it'll pump right back up to its original price. So that tells me the angel investors in this company believe in this team, and they believe in this product so much, they weren't getting rid of anything. So when you can see something that started off at 28 cents, for you and me on the market, not the ICO guys, and it's ramped all the way up to $6, you got to give yourself a pat in the back for that, for not selling out and for staying true to the team and their product as well. So let's go back over to here for 2 seconds here. We can get rid of the roadmap. Roadmap is still spot on. Again, I'm not going to spend too many details on those things itself. So the next thing we want to look at is its algorithmic score. Open channels 100%, team strength 83%, product strength 50%, GitHub 45%, coin strength 73%, brand awareness 53%. So now, the one thing that worries me a little bit when you're trying to become a connector of everything, an all-in-one source for people and businesses, excuse me, I would really like to see this GitHub activity at a minimum, absolute minimum of 70 to 75%, and their last GitHub I do believe was about 24 days ago. I would like to see the developers a little bit more busy on that. Product strength definitely has to increase, and brand awareness, I mean, brand awareness will also go to where we're going to go back over here, which is the markets. So brand awareness will go through markets, and will also go through the community as well. And as we can see, you got Hotbit, you've got Bittrex, which themselves are pretty decent exchanges. FatBTC is an up-and-coming exchange. It'll be solid in the future. But the rest of the exchanges, they're just not getting any volume right now. So the positive about this is when you look at it and you see how something has gone. Let's go back here and do this one more time and check its 200-day mover. And we're down at the 80 spot. Quant. So in the last 200 days, at $1.89 to where we are now, so it still has gained 252% over the last 200 days. And don't forget, day trading, the opening day trading price was at 28 cents in the last 1 year, so that's actually quite a bit higher. So for me, the impressive thing is in the bear market that we've had for the last 18 months, this is a project that has literally grown basically at the same rate that Bitcoin's going. So we'll go all the way back up. So we see Quant at 252 over the last 200 days. And what has Bitcoin gained over the last 200 days? 193%. So right now, as of this video, Quant has actually outperformed Bitcoin over its last 200 days. So let's get back out of there and click back onto Quant. Again, I do apologize. I do things quite a bit differently. I'm not a professional YouTuber. We just come out here and try to share our best non-paid, honest opinion. Again, nobody's paying me for this video. I was asked by my viewers and people in Reddit to come out and look into some of these things as well. All right, so we checked out its markets. Let's check out its actual volume. I like doing that over here. So right now we see its circulating supply at 12 million, total circulating supply at 14.6. We're sitting in that high 70% range, maybe closer to 80%, but that still gives room for everyday people to come in if you're really loving this, and you can still get into this at a decent price. Don't be scared that you see something that went from 28 cents to 661, because don't forget, Bitcoin was worth less than a penny and made it up to 20 grand as well. So daily trading volume of 2.6. Last night we was at about 2.75. This is actually pretty healthy, and for me, healthy volume is a minimum of the $1 million mark per 24. And the reason I put it at $1 million is just because the market is still so small right now, and you really want to see a volume of at least $1 million or more on a 24. That way it kind of scares away the pump and dump groups from coming in and trying to manipulate the prices of these. We see a market cap sitting just under 80 million right now, so it's not really far-fetched to see something like Quant. Again, so in order for the price to double, your market cap's got to double, right? So if we want to see a price of, say, $13 Quant, it would only have to go up to $160 million. And like we said in yesterday's video, in the cryptocurrency market, all it takes is a tweet or some news, and you could actually see projects literally double their market caps as well, right? So that is very healthy itself. Its partnerships look really good. And let's go back over to the website here. Oh, I think I got rid of it. Oopsie daisy. Products. We've gone through that. Contacts. Now, when you want to contact somebody, you got to fill out the form. These things, I mean, it's all right. But again, for me, if I'm going to contact somebody, I'm generally going to go through the Telegram groups, and I've checked that out. Very good over there. Same as the Reddit page itself. The GitHub right here. Again, let's see if it verifies what I said. Oh yeah, 23 days. So the devs haven't pumped anything into the GitHub in the last 23 days or so. For me, I would like to see, when you're trying to become one of these all-in-ones and everything for everybody's, I would really like to see the developers a lot busier than what they actually are themselves. So we'll back up a page here. And again, on the blog, if you wanted to contact anybody themselves. So again, with the roadmaps, you can come in. The roadmap is very, very technical. It's actually quite big. And there was one other thing we wanted to do here. So we wanted to go right back to Quant here. And we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so the first thing I went through last night is, again, I was blown away by all of this. And to me, it looked like a near perfect project. And my only negative is going to be right here. Okay, so we're going to grab, this is the address they have on their own website. It's got its city, it's got where it's at, it's got its postal code. That means it's going to lock us down on Google Maps to within one page. So before I do this, I know it was a really quick one, but there is so much more to go through in here. We could be here for 4 or 5 hours. They've got amazing partners. The price is still really decent right now. Its market cap is still very, very small. There's a lot of room for growth. And again, when you look at the markets and you don't see any of the truly big monster exchanges on here, I mean, this is another one where if everything works out well, again, sky's the limit when you're coming into a bear market and you're outperforming Bitcoin right now. That's for me, it's very, very bullish. And now the one thing I wanted to show people, and this is the part that scared me a little bit, and I'm going to ask anybody that actually see this, I'm not knocking this, I'm not insinuating anything, but when I see something that looks that amazing, the old adage, if it looks too good to be true, it actually might not be. And I couldn't find a single person that would talk about this whatsoever, or even looked into this whatsoever. Okay, so this is their actual address itself, and we're going to go, we'll click onto the street view. This is your secondary office. So I don't know when Google takes these pictures, and I don't know if this is a 20-year-old picture or a 10-year-old, or even if this picture's from yesterday, but this is the block that the business is on. To me, this looks like an apartment building, and if you're this big at an $80 million market right now, who's here? Is it somebody? Do you have one secretary working in this building and a room full of servers and computers? For me, this is definitely a red flag. If you're worth $80 million and this is your secondary office is underneath apartment buildings, I'm extremely concerned about that myself. And then here's the thing about this address. This building and these offices were rented out for multi-bogus, multi-million dollar shell companies. So companies were, again, from 3 years ago. So the thing I ask myself is this, and again, I'm not insinuating anything. Maybe it was the only available space, but to be worth $80 million and your office space is that, I'm very concerned about that. So put yourself in the shoes of, like, say you're the property manager, you're the leasing or rental agency, and you've got a space for opening, and this company contacts you and says, hey, you got a space available. They'll say, yes, we've got a space available. Well, we have to let you know, though, these previous, the space that you're looking at is currently in court under the suspicion of running shell companies. And what is your answer to that? Well, I'm in cryptocurrency. Well, I don't understand why this would be your secondary office when it's coming out of 6 companies being charged with running illegal shell companies. So for me, that scares the living hell out of me. So as a day trader, it doesn't matter. You can trade whatever you want, when you want, go make that money, right? But as even as a swing trader, it would slightly concern me a little bit. As a long-term investor, I just couldn't do it, right? Until some of those issues were addressed themselves. So not really quite sure why that is the way it is. Let's go back and look over its analysis. Again, open communication is awesome. Active on social media at 75%. Team strength at 80%. Advisory board, I actually thought this would be a lot higher because their team actually looks really solid. Brand awareness, they need to get that out. And product strength. Product and coin strength both need to get onto just some more exchange. They're on decent exchanges, but they need some more. So possible price predictions for the future. I love looking at this stuff because I really believe, like I said, in all of my videos, we keep talking about the middle of September and all of the pieces of the puzzle coming from 2017 up until the middle of September. That's when I think our jigsaw puzzle actually starts to get put together. So possible prices you could see for Quant in the future, $55, $309, and the possibility of, say, 2, maybe 3 years down the road of a possible price of $782. So also over here, if you want to come check out their news, Quant Network now supports public permissionless blockchain, starting with Ethereum Ropsten. You've got all your resources over here. So for me, that is just something I need to look into a little bit more. But again, algo score at 3.15. I would really like to see this in the 3.6, 3.7 or higher range right now with what they're trying to do. Their competition is just absolutely enormous with what they're trying to do. So when companies talk about getting and connecting everybody together, the first thing I think about actually isn't Ethereum. The first project I think about when I look at Quant is the major competition is probably more than likely going to be ICX. And right now, Quant is definitely outperforming Icon ICX, but they're very similar in what both companies are actually trying to do as a service for the world right now. And honestly, I don't think I've got really too much more to go through this. So I would actually give Quant out of 10. I'd give them a solid, you know what? I would go with a 7.5, just on my honest opinion. And the only thing that would scare me from giving them a mark of 8 out of 10 would be, why are you renting spaces in such a scammy area like that? I would really like an answer to that, because that kind of blows me away a little bit. And then when I checked out their secondary address down here below, there's not even a Google picture for it. So this one here is at an office that was under suspicion and charged with 6 companies running shell companies illegally out of there. This one here, I couldn't even get a Google map picture whatsoever out of that one as well. So that is going to be our end of our Quant review today. Again, I really like what is going on other than the offices and what's going on there. Their team looks super solid, a lot of very experienced people in there, and the project itself looks absolutely fantastic. So I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. The only way I could actually mark it up a little bit higher is if their developers got a little bit more busy And I know on their website right here, they are actually looking for more developers itself to come in and apply. But as the overall, I mean, it looks good. I mean, it does look really good. But if you dig into it, and we've always said the face, no name, or no face, no money. There's everything we need to track on it. But then the secondary part of it is you got to check into the registered business address itself, and that's the only thing that concerns me a little bit. Is why would you rent a space like that? I mean, that to me scares the living shit out of me myself. So, but that's all we got today. So we'll give Quant a 7.5 out of a 10. Maybe we'll come back and revisit it in a few more months, and we'll see if they've managed to hire a few more developers and keep it going. The only concern, the other major concern, would be the amount of competition. I mean, the competition for Quant right now is absolutely fierce. There's a lot of companies trying to do the same thing right now, but we see Quant slowly distancing themselves from the other guys right now, as Quant is one of the very few coins in the cryptocurrency market that has actually outperformed Bitcoin since January itself. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Love the comments. Come make a few more. I know there's some things that I skip, but again, if we went through every single little detail, we could be here literally for 3 to 4 hours reading white papers, going through Overledger, going through Go Verify and the whole bit, and that is just way too long. But that's the things that you as the viewer should be spending the time to sit down and read, and not simply listening to a YouTuber like myself or some of the other guys, because when I watch the other videos, they're all exactly the same. They're just talking about the Overledger and the Go Verify and the team members themselves, whereas I like to see a little bit more than I'd like myself and then kind of to mesh, and if we could actually combine the two, I think it would be a lot better of a review itself. But that's all we got for you guys. We see Bitcoin fighting back a little bit, back up to 10,182. Want you to go out there. It's Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe. Be comfortable with all of your decisions. And that's about all I got for you guys today. That's 88. Fantastic. Showing you how to take a bite out of the cryptocurrency market. Take care, y'all.